welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to look at one last course for the moment, which is Kuromatsu Country Club, and that's by Q. Now, hey Q, he's just popped into chat as well, which is awesome. So he's got a couple of things to say about the course. I'm just dragging up the form. So he says, what teas would you like to be judged from? Red. He's only given us one set, which is odd for Q and quite cool. We've seen lots of manipulated teas, and he's kind of the godfather of that. But it's nice that we don't always have to have that. Any works preferred medium wins. I've set medium, and I can't remember what direction. There are templates. I'm not going to go template spotting. I feel that can kind of detract from the playthrough. But if I see something, I'll reference it. I'll just try and treat it as a golf course. Easy, medium, standard CC. I believe this is potentially going on CC soon. And it's Lewis Country Club, Camargo Club, mixed with Japanese parkland courses. Of course it is. So we are, and we're going to play pin 1 because you won't be expecting that. So Q and I have a remarkably similar eye for course design in that we both judge CC together, and we were bang in line with our takes pretty much every single time. So I'm intrigued to see what he's put together. And I caught a little bit of this because he put together a really nice video, which I had to watch. And it's intriguing. Q's the kind of person where if he feels a course has been done before or a style has been done before, that's that idea totally off limits. So it has to be something new and unique. And you can tell that he spent a lot of time on the edge of the plot. We're working in tropical. I can see the palms down there, which are no fun whatsoever. It's kind of reassuring how many cypress trees you're able to use and not have problems with meter. We've got a cool set piece there that I'm not going to spoil because I think we see it later. You can definitely see the templates in the geometric style, and surfacing and texturing looks nice. There is a clubhouse. Now, I like the use of the walls and the steps. That's nice. Of course, we've got some numbers. I don't care. I don't want to know. Q always puts random numbers on his courses, and we never know what they mean, and it's fine. I was wondering when someone was going to do this with this style of house and like the little conservatory thing. I think that looks really good, and the clock, because it's the contest of clocks. I gotta say, I really like the clubhouse. Done very nicely. And then across there we've got a cityscape, and yeah. Do I want to go to... I never tend to want to go too close to these things, but I feel like with Q I probably can. This is awesome. I've been informed that this is like one of the Christmas trains or something along those lines. Yeah. Ridiculously good creativity, and canvas walls and lighthouses. I mean, madness. Yeah. Yeah, he's done some pretty good work with sidewalks. We won't go too close. I mean, okay, and we're at the corner of the plot, and this is kind of blocking that out. Nice. And then we've got the mountainous backdrop. I mean, certainly it already feels unique, right? And then we've got some pine straw, and then we've got a golf course. Now, one thing that... Okay, and then we have a walk off to the first tee, which I don't mind. It's fine. Now, one of the things I think is worth flagging is, like, we're judging courses for what they are, and like a parkland course done really, really well versus like, so it may not look all that flashy, but we're trying to judge it as what it's trying to be rather than what it's not. Like, this is not trying to be Cypress Point and doesn't have therefore all the visual flashiness, but you'd kind of want the best parkland course in the world to be able to go kind of head to head with that, even if Cypress Point is the best course in the world. But you get the idea. Like, I think it's nice that we have a variety of styles, of course, in the contest, and I'm really pleased that you went down this route. So, straight off the first, and what do we have? We have some, I was going to say subtle land movement. It's not subtle. It's just the muted lighting kind of makes it look subtle. And then we have a long green. guess pin's slightly easier to access if I go this way. Slightly. Whereas if I go this way, less so. Transitions at the corners could be front corners could be a little neater. The flat bottom bunker sculpting's pretty good. The bit you've done really well with the flat bottoms. I think you probably could have mounded up the insides a little bit more. I also say that, like, yeah, exactly, it is. Like, eye candy also papers over a lot of cracks, right? I think this one you've done really well with the bunker face. It's much, say much, seems a bit steeper. Maybe it's just 'cause it's a side bunker. But I think you can probably get this a little closer to the pan of the bunker. The one thing that I will say that isn't working for me is the grasses. I would probably lose them, which is going to be a pain to hear given that it would have taken time. But I guess it's the damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario. If it looks too empty if you don't do anything, and you don't want to do everything, and like all grasses, and then, yeah, it's tricky. But I kind of think I would prefer it with just the... Yeah, I completely see that. I also really like for CC the generous cut of light rough. You could have the other thing you could have done, I guess, would have been like like giving extra light rough in certain areas, like on, I don't know, not preferred sides of a fairway. Like, I don't know, but I don't think that would have necessarily fitted. I think how you've done it is good. I do like the tree choices. Yeah. Okay, hit some shots. I don't think I'm going to go crazy level of scoring on this one, but we'll see what we can do. Right, and let's see. 8 iron into the wind, 12 feet down. Probably want one more club. I know it's a cheap visual thing. I might have just lost one of these trees to make this a bit more visible. Maybe it's just because of the angle I'm at. But I really like the backdrop. The trees look great. I did wonder when you mentioned that you'd done some testing of the cypress trees. Okay. And greens are... Yeah, this is definitely CC level. There's enough slope around it. You can still get close. I don't think I could tell you what template this one was off the bat. And I'm okay with that. Cool. Good first hole. Okay, 2. Feels like the land movement's amping up a little more on this. Oh, yes, it is. Really cool green site in the... like, they do. Yeah, always is. I love this green site. Like, you've got a real amphitheater here. The way the trees look is great. The sizing of the trees is really good. Like, you've definitely got that grand nature of them. I love the land movement on this hole. It's not really so much in play, but visually it's spectacular. I'm trying to work out bunker layering and how much. I guess this one in front is kind of to show us where those two are. Certainly the second one, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. This makes sense. And I think I probably get a better angle if I go down the left, but I'm happy being somewhere this way. Yeah, this hole's great. And it's a weird one, but this bunker gives me kind of Sunningdale sort of Heathland vibes with how it's just high of the green and short of the green and looking tucked up against it. Just, yeah, this does a lot of subtle things that I really appreciate. Now, I think everyone's going for this in 2, though, right? And there's no... Sorry, excuse me. How much danger is there if you miss short? Not a lot. That's okay. It's a gentle opener. Thanks, Tanner. It's been a while since we've had one of those. Yeah, short of the green was always the play rather than going too far long. All right, this is a hole that you'd kick yourself on CC if you didn't birdie, right? Although, potentially, I guess, wins. I'm trying to work out what template that would have been. I'm going to guess at Valley, but I can... Like, there's elements of that Donald Ross switchback sort of hole there. Okay, really hitting down a chute of trees now. I appreciate that we've seen the clubhouse on all 3 holes so far. That's fine. Okay, sloping slightly away beyond the pin. I don't know if I'd ever use this bit of fairway. Or why I'd bunker it. Well, as in... I can see why you'd use it to open up there, but I don't know if you can land it and stop it, or if I'd feel like I can land it there and stop it. Certainly with the elevation, that feels like a really dicey shot, but not that much gain. Like, I wonder whether this would have been better as just like, let's imagine we... this bunker's good, but just as a gentle dog leg around the trees, and like you just kind of, I don't like the term, but cape the fairway a little bit, just because that's what people understand it as. I feel that would have been a neater way of doing it. As is, I do see that if for this pin, if I go this way, I get a longer shot. I get a shot across the green, rather. Words are difficult. Hit the light rough. Okay. But I've got the angle, so I don't really mind being in the heavy quite so much. Say I've got the angle, I've gone too far and have the angle less than I thought I did. That's still fine. Funny how these beads give me more problems than much more consistent ones that are sloping more. Just trying to work out the ones that are breaking at slightly different speeds everywhere I struggle. Oh, is this not your first or like your main idea? Okay. Push up green. I'm guessing at Eden. Maybe not from the length, could be short. But it feels more Eden. I wonder with this one whether you needed to raise the green. I'm looking behind and we've got a load of... Like this view I think is spectacular. I kind of wonder, rather than playing 18 feet, if we're playing, let's say, 10 feet down, and you've got kind of more of this big view, I feel that's the better look, perhaps. But it's all kind of part of a bigger picture, I'm sure. Again, bunkering is really pretty good. These are... Yeah, okay. You can see this bit's gotten a little high. It's pretty good. They're hard to do. You have to have the patience of a saint to do these. Okay. I'm not going to inspect every single one on the course, but when we come to a few. Don't really want to be... Oh, that's the worst shot we've hit. I was trying to get a fast and on purpose rather than just doing a normal shot. This isn't where I want it to be. This still isn't where I want it to be. Okay, we'll gloss over this. I like the green. It's got lots of yellow slopes which look like they're really friendly and kind of are, kind of aren't. Um, but it allowed you ways to get to back right and back left pins. It's always nice. Okay. I'm glad we have bunkers there protecting that green. Interesting with this green and this. I don't know that I'd have made this light. I feel light rough is kind of the you're just off the fairway and it's not really a hazard. It's just protecting a slight miss. This is a hazard, right? And I'd say this is the thing you really don't want people to carry. So I definitely wouldn't have made it light. Because it now kind of means I can aim over it with pretty much impunity. Because if I do land in it, yeah, I've got an awkward stance, but it's still light rough. I like the false front at the front of the green. Gentle sloping back. Again, really good, nice green site. It's simple, it's effective. A bit more aggressively sloped on this side. But false front really eats in here. I think you've probably got some really nice pins on here that just very subtly require you to do slightly different things. So this pin you're probably wanting to approach slightly more from the right. And you kind of got a choice between how much you take on the false front or the bunker, I guess. I do not want a 9-iron pitch. I might have dropped. I don't know whether this was a conscious decision. Yeah, word's difficult. I'd have probably, yeah, the sculpting around here. Probably drop this bit so that you can see the flat bottom bunker a little bit. One trick with flat bottom bunkers is really just tilting the whole pan so they're visible, so that rather than being just flat compared to ground level, whatever the base ground level of the plot is, so that it's flat on a plane. And that might have helped with this one. But it's kind of dipping down here and then into the light rough, and then, yeah, I think we can just smooth out this bit. Lowering this would make more sense. I'm assuming this has to do with the false front and kind of running stuff in, but it just looks a little bit awkward on the inside of the bunker. Right. Sandwich. Just a little left. I don't really get why that's gone left, but okay. Yeah. Executed 2 good shots. Feel like a birdie makes sense. So far, so good. Enjoying it. Okay, 6. Second par 5. All right, you've got a gap to shoot this way versus. I feel either side is pretty. Actually, this side's more risky, right? You've got the risk of running into the bunker if you kind of go here. Definitely running out of fairway if you go here. You're certainly encountering tree trouble as well. This side's flatter. I'm taking this side. Okay. Ooh. This is an interesting green. I like this one a lot. I would have liked this slope to feed into a bit of a lower point here. I think once you get it running off, you probably want to keep it running off a little bit more. So like lowering this bit a touch further would have been good. I think you got some really interesting pins here. I love it when I can't quite predict where 4 pins are going to be. I'm going to guess at 1 here. Probably 1 back left and 1. I'd find it hard push not to put 1 in here. But 1 just in front of this on the middle would have been good as well. Anyway. Off a little down. Side step. This is uphill. That slow might help, you know. we go. I think with the underbrush planting, this stuff is fine for like a first line. It's when it gets beyond that you probably want a little bit more. And whilst it may not totally be true to the region, I think in game I'd probably just sink some ash trees or oaks or something that's going to just make that stuff that you don't see. Great view all the way back down to the city. Are we at kind of high point on the property maybe? One more. Okay, hitting our stride a little bit more. I've never really seen these used above ground. I would have usually sunk those down. They look a bit odd with the wispy nature of them. Let's have a little look at this plant. I do like the ferns. I don't think they get used quite enough. I believe Tanner used them a lot in Montauk. Okay. It'd be cool to see just a touch more of that bunker. So, let's see. Yeah. This is another really interesting green. Could be one of Grovey's. Lots of little slopes. Front to back. I will. Decisions were made. Let's try and just a little fade around the corner. There we go. I like the rumpled land here. I kind of hope you're going to buy into the elevation and like awkward stances a little bit more. I think that would, as we go, I'm hoping it's just gently introducing us to that. I think you get a ton of interest from that. A little too heavy. Yeah, I'd say the general level of the field's been really good. Like average course in this year's contest beats the average course in. Okay, yeah, we're definitely amping up the elevation change. Okay, 24 feet down, but that feels like level-ish. Really good green. Well, green site, certainly. Might have liked to bunker on a diagonal here rather than just dug straight in, because I can kind of just clear this. And it's you want to avoid, I think, that as much as possible that you have this club or you don't. We held on to the higher, flatter part as well. Really like the bunkering behind it, and particularly the mounding to the right of the green, I think, makes this one. And even though nobody will use it, I like this as a way to run the ball onto the green. That's the sort of thing you'll appreciate when you're out of position and not notice until you are. Looking at all the little slopes, moves in a lot of different directions, this one. There. Quite fast greens as well. And 60 is, yeah. I guess they go up to 165s pretty easily. Yeah, there's lots of gentle contouring in here. Okay, we have, so this is our short. Some interesting pins in here. The bunkers feel a touch out of scale with the green, I would say. But it's kind of hard to do big, bold. I don't know. I feel like you can do big and bold, but it's not necessarily the sand pan that I would make big. It would be the sculpting around it that I'd really, and like varying the heights a little bit more, which you have done. Like this is the one you really don't want to go in, I guess. I think that would be my main critique on this one. It's just the heights. If you look at not the heights, sorry, the size of the pans, just from here, all looks visually a little bit big rather than maybe nestling in really close to the green surface. And probably tuck them in a little bit tighter. Right. But a great look back over everything we played so far. Yeah, we've been a couple of holes without the grasses and come back to the grasses, and I definitely preferred it without. So it's good to get confirmation of that. That's a good swing. Shame, that was going to be a fun shot. One more. Nope. Deserved the bogey. Played the par threes terribly. Yeah, I agree. Okay. So this now runs parallel with one, doesn't it? Yeah. Bit more hogs backy. Feels that way, yeah. Okay, bigger green, but kind of lots more going on around it. Interesting. Probably bringing that bunker a touch more into play. I don't have the most interesting pin for this one in that it's not dictated by this bunker. So I'm just trying to picture how it would be. And there's lots of ways to gather the ball to that one. This one's dicey and entertaining. Back left, we can run the ball towards it pretty easily. And back right, you can either run it from short. Yeah, another really good green. Let's go over this way. Again, I would like to see that bunker. Like, you can probably lower the hole. It's going to be tough with the sideline. You could lower bits of the hog's back. I guess you kind of, it's implied by you can see the light rough casing for the bunker, so not too bothered. That's not the swing. And we're going to hit heavy rough as well. And short-sided and over a bunker. Beautiful shot. I think one other thing that I would look to do that Joe in particular does with his greenside bunkers or bunkers generally is that top line. You can vary the heights a little bit more. You can have points where it's really high and points where it dips down a little bit more, and just add the variation that way rather than seeming quite so uniform in height.
See how hitting her turn.
Yeah. I didn't mention that one. That shot was so bad.
Hitting her turn.
No.
Why would you do this?
That shot was so bad that I hadn't mentioned the hazard. Okay, long par 4. Makes sense that we don't have fairway bunkers, but do have a lot of contouring. Oh, and I like the green. Again, kind of dictates where we want to be. So we want to ride this slope down towards the right-hand side. For pins on the left, I think you're, yeah, a really wise, don't worry. A really wise move to have a steeper tier on this side than on this side, because you're normally going to end up on the right, aren't you? So you get the better angle to this pin, which means it's going to be harder to get to this side. So you wouldn't want the really steep tier over here. You'd want the shallow one here and the steep one here, and a bit of a backstop. Whereas this one, bizarrely, you can make this pin a little bit tougher, even though it looks like your danger's on the right-hand side, and that's the scarier part. Well thought through golf hole. Obviously, we've ended up on the left. Good to know that that's doable. Interesting take on double plateau. Oh. Definitely a spin. Could be argued more of a maiden, I guess. And we've hit the big tier. See, now you could mention the sea hazard. The only thing I think I would have liked to have been kept on the green with that, just because the put's a harder shot than the chip. Oh, and that drags into this from a long way away. This is quite the pin. CC okay with this? Eesh. Let's watch. Yeah, it's going to go. Okay, that's that little test done. How far are we? 72 feet. Away. Oh, right, good. I'm going to say. I think that's a wise decision. I do like it. Like, you get these really bold features and these places you absolutely cannot miss. I don't know if I can hit a putt much harder than that. Honestly, I kind of would have liked to see a little bit more of that so far. Like, I think that's really bold and interesting, and like there is a place on that green you cannot go, but it's also really doable. Okay. Oh, we've done this. Okay, this is a mashup of two. Um, well, I guess three. It's got a bit of a false front as well. We got the fun pin. Okay, so
Just hit back and go shots.
absolutely deserved. Love the set piece in the background. Okay. I don't really get why my tempo's suddenly gone so bad. This is an excellent commitment. I'm just going to zoom in because I think I know how you did this. Shelters and the Christmas stuff. Oh, I hadn't clocked the curbs. The curbs is a nice touch. Very cool. Hate to break the illusion, sorry. Huh, I went right over. So this CC course, going really well for me. I like the green site, again, kind of benched into the side of a hill, but falling, the fact that this falls this way, I think just makes it visually very interesting. Makes me really not want to go left. And yeah, left is kind of where you get the angle from. And there's a couple of bunkers there, which I think is a friendly move from you. You could have just let people roll down this way, right? Shame. That's a me swing. Recognize that one. Amazing how much tempo just varies everything. Playing very well earlier. Oh well. There's a bit of bite on these greens if you don't quite get it right. Okay. Don't want to go long. Don't want to go right, or you've got a pretty difficult putt across the slope. No, that's gone too far. Good stuff. Okay. 14. And greens have been really interesting so far. I like this one a lot as well. A little bit of a bowl. Kind of two little bowls. There's some tempo. Just stay in the fairway is all I ask. Definitely varying the height a bit more. I wonder whether we could have mounded up some of the land around a little bit more as well. Might have helped. Just add a little bit more visual punch, because you got with this sort of a course, you got to pack it in wherever you possibly can. I think bunkering does such a big amount of the work on these styles of courses. Hooray! Okay, back to level par. Par 5 with a tree in the fairway. Okay, slightly smaller green, a little bit of fairway to land on the right. If I go here, I've got to deal with that. Shoot the gap, and I maybe not quite as much. 49 feet downhill, but I don't really know where that elevation change is happening. Just try and bounce over, right? Driving's been terrible so far.
Don't be like Mucky.
Thank you, Tanner. Agreed. No trees. Bad cue. Ugh. Did the hard part of this hole. Very friendly bounce. Oh, no, I know. I agree. Yeah. I don't want to say it a third time, but I'm afraid every time I see the grass, I'm more and more convinced that I'd have just lost it. Hey. Happy days. Okay. A little bit more of, yeah, more of a cape. I like the proximity of the next tee is nice. This one works well. Again, I think we can mound into these a little bit more. Though they do look good off the tee. Didn't want slow. Just because I don't really feel that's been punished, unfortunately, and I've hit a bad drive. I mean, the other option was to coat the bunkers in heavy rough, but I don't think you wanted to do that. Okay, 2 to go. R3 17th. We all have them. And I'm going to say not a template. Just a little mound. Kind of a sneaky tough green at this distance. There's not actually that much room to go long and leave. I mean, you're going to be fine, but...
I don't hate this.
We don't hate it. Okay, yeah, elevation. Let's go. I think the wind should help us enough. Love seeing the flags just elsewhere popping up from that hill's great. That's another big thing you kind of want to rely on with parklands. Okay, can't land it much shorter. That would do though. Oh, okay. I'm not that familiar. And there's a part. We can just ignore like the first 13 holes, right? And then 18. Okay, so here we're looking... Oh, it's such a shame those don't render properly. Panda. Cool green. I'm interested to see how close to that slope you push some pins. This one's in the bowl. I like that you haven't gone dead center of the bowl. That's a nice touch.
HP?
Yeah, I think it's because it lowers the quality a little bit because I'm streaming. Well, I'm not judging you based on them not rendering, don't worry. I mean, I am judging you, but not for that. Okay. Avoid those. Alps, I guess. Yeah, we've got the little hidden Sahara. Cool. And I guess there's a punch bowl. Well, it was nice to see we finally found some tempo. Only 13 holes too late. I've got a ravine working through here, haven't we? Okay. No, but no, I'm not. This is the end. I'm only doing one tonight. I've got to get some sleep before. I've just been woken up early tomorrow, but I've got 2 more to do that I'll do tomorrow. Yeah, this group is going to be fun to judge. They're 4 good courses, and that's difficult.
This is the worst thing I ever seen.
Oh. Okay, right. I guess the big picture takeaways. It's really tricky with a course like this in that you are inevitably going to kind of be judged on some of the decisions that you made about the type of course you wanted to build. So building a geometric course is always not to everyone's taste. You know, I'm fine with them. They're not my personal favourites, but I can appreciate when they're well done. This was well done. But there'll be some people for whom that's a bit of a turn off. It's a Parkland course. You're kind of stacking the deck a little bit against yourself to begin with. And then and then you left a lot of open space and you didn't go heavy on grass planting or bunkers. Like if I was to compare this with something like I played a Silmar earlier this afternoon, and like that's given itself dunes to work with, coasts to work with, Mackenzie bunkers to work with, undulations, barranca, etc. Now I'm not saying that should hold you back, but it possibly might, just because it's kind of there's so much more avenues for easy kind of gratification. That said, I think we're clear as a judging panel that we want to judge courses for what they are, not kind of what they're not. Now, does this have the visual highs of some of the other courses? No, it doesn't. What does it do really well? Well, it uses the land movement subtly. I think subtle and kind of like player friendly are good words that describe this course. I think you've got a really interesting plot with lots of good land movement. There's some holes that I really enjoyed. The ones I enjoyed are the ones where you tackled the land movement a bit more head on. So like the second, or like the